All right, so today's cocktail is from the Jones Cocktail Guide. I guess you could say that the Jones Cocktail Guide strikes again. This has been my favorite acquisition of book in the last year or two. And it's freaking impossible to get. So you guys have to rely on me for all the information because everyone has bought up the available copies and there are none out there. Even the rare booksellers that were selling them for $200, $300, $400, they don't have them anymore. Our version is really messed up too. The cover's all broken and ripped. So the last time we did cocktails from that book, I was being dramatic and I said, every cocktail that comes out of this book is a banger. And then somebody, of course, on the internet, because everyone likes to take things literally on the internet, said, oh, there's 4,000 recipes. I really doubt that all of them are bangers. And that's true. Not all of them are bangers. Every one that we have done out of the book are bangers. But I will say this, most cocktail guides from the past, even ones that go up into the 70s, which is like, the 70s, 80s, 90s, these are what are considered really the like late 50s through the 90s, early 2000s were considered the dark ages of cocktails, right? When cocktails were being done with like overly sweet mixers, nothing was fresh ingredients, and they were pretty terrible. I was gonna say and terrible for you, but alcohol is kind of terrible for you. So just be moderate and you'll be fine. But it's just not a great experience, and just putting things together to make money. Really it was just companies putting crap into bottles to make a lot of money off of people, not really thinking about what they're putting out. Most of the books that come out of these eras are like very old school, antiquated specs. So like the specs are like 1 pony, 1 jigger. Like nobody knows what a pony and a jigger is until, David Wonders came around and said, hey, a pony is this many ounces, a jigger is this many ounces or milliliters or what have you. So it's kind of hard to follow. But what the Jones Guide does is that all of the specs inside the book for every cocktail. There are some terrible cocktails in there, but all of the specs make sense, which I don't find in classic books very often. And so it's just really nice to see a classic book that has specs that really make sense, like 3/4, 3/4, 3/4, 3/4, 1.5, half, 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 for certain drinks. Or the old fashions are the right old fashioned template, the right sour template. You see things that are like 1.5, 3/4, 3/4, or 2 3/4, 3/4. So there's just like all specs that make sense, which is just very rare in a book. And what that does is that helps you look at the recipes that have potential and respec them into something good by using your bartending know-how. So that's what I would say about that. That's why I love the book so much. But it was a little inaccurate to say like every cocktail is a banger. That being said, the 2 cocktails that that I'm doing today came out of that book. I'm not sure if it was first published in that book, but it's definitely in the Jones Complete Bar Guide. But then on top of that, they're both daiquiri variations. So originally I wanted to shoot these as a separate video, but then I realized that I put these 2 cocktails together that are both daiquiri variations and both have Kirschwasser. Today's Educated Barfly video is sponsored by The Educated Barfly. I don't know if you guys know this, some of you do, some of you don't, but we've got lots of really good products in our store and we are constantly adding to those products. One of our very new additions, freeze-dried garnishes. So whereas a dehydrated garnish gives you sort of like a more tea-like caramelized scent, the freeze-dried version of that is a little bit brighter, and then all the sugars when you freeze dry it come to the surface, and so you get a very bright, fresh orange flavor. These guys have been a real big hit since we put them in the store. We're getting lots of orders for them. We also have a little bit of glassware. We have our now kind of iconic Nick and Nora style glass that we did in a regular and honeycomb pattern. This is a 6-ounce glass, kind of Nick and Nora style. And we have a brand new, more coupe style glass. It's 7 ounces. We also have the honeycomb pattern in this as well. So if you're a fan of the channel and you want to help us out, this is a very good way to help the channel and then also get something out of it. A lot of this is the glassware that you see in our videos, and so you'll be able to recreate the same cocktails that we make in the studio at home with the best possible recipes, the best possible instructions, and now the best possible glassware and garnishes. A lot of people don't know what Kirschwasser is, so today I thought I would describe it, because also people don't know the difference between something like Kirschwasser and maraschino liqueur. So Kirschwasser is a German cherry brandy. It is made by fermenting and then distilling a product out of whole cherries. People do get this mixed up with maraschino liqueur, but maraschino, which comes from the Mediterranean, is different because it's a liqueur, so it's sweetened. And then on top of that, not only do they use cherries, but then they also use the pits and the stems to give it like this bitter almond flavor that you find in that. So it's very different. Kirschwasser is a spirit, whereas maraschino liqueur is a liqueur. Right? That being said, there are a bunch of different types of cherry liqueurs out there that people get mixed up. It's basically eau de vie. It's like unaged cherry brandy. And what is eau de vie? Eau de vie is a brandy that has been unaged. And then what is a brandy? A brandy is any spirit that is distilled out of fruit. So macerated fruit that has been fermented and then distilled. You know, basically what you're doing is making wine. You're making like a fruit wine and then you are distilling it. Here's what it looks like. Here's one brand of Kirschwasser. You can find many different types of brands. Let's crack this up. You want to do a little taster? I'm not sure that I have really very often tasted Kirschwasser just on its own. Kirschwasser is in a lot of like old recipes, but you don't see it being used very much these days. There are some nice brands though that still make a good product, and obviously they sell enough that they are still in business. So it's got kind of a musty, it's like I've been on this like musty descriptor, and it tastes exactly how it smells. It's a very floral. It's like very floral, kind of musty. You get like the cherry on the back end, and then as the flavor builds on your palate, you can kind of discern that like very light floral cherry flavor. In cocktails, I'm not like, we're gonna see how much of it kind of comes through, but it seems like it's such a delicate flavor, it can really be run over. So I'm not sure why in these recipes, like Kirschwasser will be such a big part of the recipe, but we're gonna see. So the first one is gonna be done with Tequila Blanco. So first thing we're gonna do is 1/2 ounce of simple syrup. So let's just get that out of the way. 3/4 ounce of lime, 1/2 ounce of Kirsch, and 1.5 ounces of Tequila Blanco. And last but not least, an egg white. And then we're gonna do what we normally do here with like 1 big ball of ice, plus a cheater cube. If I can just find like a smallish cheater cube here. And I think what we're gonna do here is do a little, I wanna express a little, I don't want to say lemon, but we'll do a little lime oil on the top here. You know, I think that pairing Tequila Blanco with Kirschwasser is kind of a masterstroke because the roasted agave flavor inside tequila goes really well with that floral mustiness of the Kirschwasser, and the tequila kind of amplifies that Kirschwasser flavor a bit. So what you have here is something that is balanced. You have enough sugar in there. That 1/2 ounce of simple did pretty well with the 3/4 ounce of lime. There is some sweetness to this, a little tiny bit. There's no sugar in it, it's a distilled spirit, but that kind of like helps to balance that out, although it is on the tartar side. But really the main star of the show isn't even the lime, although it's nice to have the lime oils on top because you get that nice fresh pop of lime as you drink. It's really the pairing of the Kirschwasser and the Tequila Blanco, which I find so intriguing. It's like those flavors, that like roasted agave sort of minerality that you have. I say roasted agave, but actually in tequila, it's steamed agave, but it caramelizes the agave fiber, I guess, or like the fiber of the pina gets like caramelized. It's really sweet and it has this like very specific flavor to it. So it's that flavor that I'm trying to describe that goes with the Kirschwasser, which is like, you know, floral and musty, and you put it together and it's really nice. It's an interesting flavored drink. I love the color of it. It's pretty good. I don't know if it's something that I would drink 2 of though. If somebody was like, if I did bartender's choice and this is what I was given, I'd be like, that was great. What am I gonna have next though? It seems like a nice starter drink for the evening. So there it is, the Prado. The Montana! That cocktail name has a complicated history. There are many different Montana cocktails dating all the way back to the 1800s. This one is not any of those. Actually, this cocktail is the exact same cocktail as the last cocktail, but with the change in base spirit, which I always think can be pretty informative. We can just see which one's the better one, or do we like them both? This one also doesn't have any egg white in it, so it's more a straight kind of daiquiri, so we're not doing it sour style. I guess that's another change in the cocktail, but it's the exact same base of ingredients. So you got, you know, half an ounce of simple syrup. I'm gonna do 3/4 ounce of lime juice, half an ounce of Kirsch, and 2 ounces of rum. Oh, it's actually another difference. Half an ounce more of the base spirit as well. Let's give it a shake. I think I'm gonna go freeze-dried lime on I don't have any freeze-dried lime. I'll have to do dehydrated lime maybe, or I'll just do fresh. Ooh, bright, nice, a little bit tart. Sugar balances out nicely. What's nice about doing a spirit that doesn't have like such a, you know, distinctive flavor is it really amplifies that Kirschwasser. And so you get a lot of that musty cherry flavor. The rum, you know, rum is just adding body and it's adding alcohol, obviously. Very bright lime flavor, kind of on the tart side, but nicely balanced with the sugar. So there it is, the Montana. I gotta say, I think that this is my most proud moment. Like, I actually finally have a copy of the book that I wrote. It took me a 1.5 years to write this book. I'm very proud of it. So I would just implore everyone to go buy a book. The more books you buy, the better it is for me, and then I can make another book for you guys. I'm already thinking about new books, but I'm just super proud of this, and I just hope that you guys really enjoy it. So go out. There is a Genius link below this video, or in the link in bio if you're on Instagram, and buy this book. I think you guys will really like it, and I worked really hard on it, and I love you guys, and you love me, and I love you, and you love me. It's a love fest over here, so pick up my book.